Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Marvel's latest movie, The Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao, starring Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Kit Harrington and many, many more. Quick apology for the lighting on this video. I'm filming this quite late at night and this is the best I can do, I'm afraid. And before we go any further, if you could be a dear, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already. It helps me and the channel massively and we thank you if you do. So The Eternals is the latest installment into the MCU, telling the story of, well, the Eternals. These godlike beings who have basically been sitting around waiting for Earth's panic alarm to go off so that they can save the day, but only when absolutely necessary. And that's what I'm going to say in regards to the plot, so I don't spoil it for anyone. Starting with the positives of this movie, it does get going quite nicely. You get straight into an action scene and it's filmed quite well. You very quickly understand the range of powers that each character can offer, you understand the threat that's on show, and you understand the setting and landscape that we're in as well. It's all filmed very nicely and the CGI is pretty stellar, which you would expect from Marvel, but nonetheless it should be commended. The movie clearly has a bright, vivid colour scheme throughout, and it's also a breakthrough movie for the MCU in regards to inclusivity. But sadly, I have to admit, for me, that is realistically where the praise ends and the complaints begin with The Eternals. Unfortunately, I found just about everything in this movie to be so generic, even down to the costume designs. I mean, they all just look like they are wearing the most basic idea you could come up with for what would a godlike superhero wear. It really lacks personality and originality, and there's nothing that vivid or engaging that feels new or original. It actually feels quite bland. And sadly, I have to say the same about the performances and the characters themselves. I'm not going to go into each separate actor and say who did better than who. I generally thought all of them were just on the same boat of really stoic and really boring. I didn't really care about any of them. As much as I praised the movie for its inclusivity, I actually think it's a downfall of the movie because it just seems so focused on that fact of making sure that everyone is accounted for, no one's going to be offended, no one's going to complain, and they spend so much time making sure that side of the argument's okay that they actually forget to make the characters deep, rich, interesting, thought-provoking. They are bland. I thought the pacing of the movie was atrocious. They really struggled with the size of the cast here. They did not know who to make important, who to spend the most time with, what to actually discuss when they're with these people, because a lot of the discussions, especially early on, is just plot exposition as to what's going on, who's who, where's what, what's relationships what. And that is pretty criminal in regards to Marvel, because surely by now they should know the show don't tell rule. And yet sadly that's how it is here. You're just going to be told everything. You're not going to be shown anything. You're not going to be introduced to this new fascinating world. You're just going to be told about it. I'm going to try and keep this review really short and sweet because I could talk about things I don't like, but ultimately I think a lot of people are going to like this movie. I think I'm going to be the unpopular opinion here. But that being said, my honest thoughts, this is Marvel's Power Rangers. That's my genuine thought whilst watching this movie. This film felt like Marvel's rendition of Power Rangers. Some of you will like that if you want to, but it's just not what I was coming for or what I was expecting or really what floats my boat personally. I just thought this was so boring. It's so dull and repetitive and just talkative as well. The pacing really is off in this movie. The performances are way too serious and stoic. There's nothing that's impressionable or that memorable. And it's also ultimately formulaic. It's Marvel's usual routine. And I'm being honest, I'm getting tired of it. I'm actually getting tired of the MCU a little bit now. I'm getting tired of going into the cinema and feeling like I know exactly how this is going to play out before I've even seen it, and 9 times out of 10 being right. It just ruins the experience. It just sucks all of the fun out of it because there's no tension, there's no edge of your seat moment. You're just waiting for the obvious. So despite the dislikes that might come my way, I'm going to give The Eternals a 4 out of 10. This was an exhausting slog to get through, and it had very little payoff in my personal regard. I don't want to rewatch this movie. I kind of just want to chuck this to the back of my mind and move on to something a little bit better, hopefully. But I'm not just going to sit here and hate on the movie because it just bored me to death. I have to give it some dues. It is filmed really nicely. Locations are pretty damn good. The colour schemes work really well, and I thought the choreography was good through the movie as well. I just realised that quite literally was 4 points for 4 out of 10. It's not quite how I did the maths in my head, but I guess it adds up. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button, and be sure to leave a comment as well. Have you seen The Eternals? Did you like it, or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.